Everyone, stick with us versus herd. If it's your first time here, you like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications from when we post videos, tap the bell. And if you want to join our UvH fam, links are below in the description to our Discord, along with our Facebook options trading group. And if you want to see our trade recaps or when we go live, links are below to our options trading live channel where we go live 30 minutes after market close. Today I didn't go live, but I did post a trade recap that covered my Alibaba trade, had a 100% gain around there. I did close out some losers on some calls, but I did go over that earlier today on our options trading live channel. So if you're not yet subscribed, go over there, hit subscribe, watch the videos. I go live there Monday through Friday, 30 minutes after market close. But what I want to talk about today or tonight is what to expect in December. What are the risks going into this month? We're looking to close out 2019. And a lot of the times with December is sometimes kind of low and slow. Last year, December was really busy in the stock market because we had the trade war and tariffs and that whole thing. And it seems like we're having a repeat, not so much November and October, but December, we're so far 2 days in and 2 days red. So, pretty interesting. I thought for sure we were going to have kind of like a slow grind if there was no trade news. But, before we get into the trade talk, there's a couple things that's going to happen this week that we want to be aware of. Starting tomorrow, we're going to have ADP employment along with the market services PMI and ISM non-factoring index report. So 3 reports tomorrow, and we have more reports the rest of the week. So just be aware of that. Thursday, we have the weekly jobless claims, the trade deficit, and the factory orders. And then Friday, we have non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, average hourly earnings, consumer index, wholesale inventories, and consumer credit all coming out on Friday. So we have busy report week. So just be mindful of that. If you guys know, on Monday, the manufacturing PMI report was weak. Market went down. Today, market went down based on trade news. But, before we get into that, what I'm looking at here on the SPY is, we had a nice run, and most of this run was due to the trade optimism of the phase 1 deal. And today, Trump he's in London right now at NATO, and I don't know, kind of running his mouth. And people over here are like, what the heck are you doing? But the stock market is reacting. This was the biggest down day we've had in a while, and the Dow was actually down over 400 points at one point in time today. Sorry, I'm still battling. My voice is a little weak, so bear with me. Yeah, low today. Dow was down 457. S&P was down 1.7%. NASDAQ was down 1.6%. Yes, it did recover, but we're not out of the woods yet. And one of the things that was interesting is today the president later added that Tuesday's slump is peanuts compared to how much the market has climbed since his election and the importance of striking a favorable trade deal with China. Now, the one thing that I do want to point out is it appears Trump is getting a little cocky here based on that statement. If we rewind back to last December, is we were green on the year in 2018 until December hit. We were still green on the year. So if we go into, let's look at 2018 in the whole entirety. We were green on the year for the most part until December hit. On December 3rd, to be exact, we popped up to 280 and we dropped all the way down to 233. We had let's see here, December 3rd down to Christmas Eve, December 24th. We didn't start to recover till after Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve, December 24th last year, we dropped from 280 down to 233. Sorry, 280 down to 233, and it just took away all the gains. I mean, we were green, barely green. We were green. Let's see, where did the year start? Okay, we were green. we started the year last year at like 267, 268. We'll just call it 268. So once it kind of topped out here at 268 on December 12th, it just ripped apart. So we went from being up on the year to green in just a matter of 2 weeks or a few days, let's say 10 days, right? And that kind of, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen here, because I mean, obviously this year we had a head start because last year we were down so much. This year we had quite a head. So I don't think we're going to be dropping below 245, but we are up over 20% this year. We could drop. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we could drop 10%, and I think that would hurt. If we came down to 280, 270. I can't believe this cough is still lingering. So if we come down to 270, we can come down to 275, still be green on the year. We could even go as low as 250, still be green on the year. It doesn't make you feel good about your portfolio to drop that much, but it could happen. Realistically, I think what we're gonna happen here is test like the 302, 305 area between here. Try to develop some base and see if it has some level of support here after it broke through. We haven't had a retest of that area, so it's possible that we could come back down here to the 302, 305 area is really what I'm looking for. If that breaks down, we could easily see the 285, 290 area is what I'm keeping an eye on. So, the one thing that we do have to be concerned about is Trump did say that there's no deadline. I actually have it here for when he wants to make a deal. Let's go. It was okay. Yeah, let's see here. Where was it? Was it towards the end here? They kind of. Yeah. Then he talked about we'll get to that taxing Facebook and Google because he did raise tariffs for France, but. Yeah, he said that. Where is it? There. Okay. Here we go. When asked if he had a deadline, he added, "I have no deadline. No. In some ways, I think it's better to wait until after the election if you want to know the truth." So, the one thing that I think is interesting here, and then we know. Trump right now is in London, and he is, just talking. This stuff's not scripted. He's just going off the cuff. So just be mindful of that. I mean, we know that Trump kind of goes and says what he wants whenever he wants, but just be mindful that this is severely market impacting. Right now futures are flat. They're kind of switching from red to green, so it doesn't really mean a whole lot right now, but the reason why the market was running, I don't think the earnings, I think earnings season was a little bit lackluster. They were kind of flat. There wasn't really any stellar earnings. I mean, some earnings, some companies did well, but the majority just were kind of even, kind of in line, just meeting expectations. And we've been really running on optimism of a phase one deal. They've been pumping a phase one deal. And now that if we're not going to get it, I think that we could fall back into this range of 285 and 295 and ping back in here again. We broke out of range, but we could easily come back into range here on that. So December 15th, we have to be mindful of that. So we have about, a week and a half for that to happen. But before that happens, we also have the Fed meeting. So if you look here at the federalreserve.gov, their calendar, December 10th and 11th, they are going to be meeting. And you see here it has a star, meeting associated with summary of economic projections. We know that in the past that the Fed wants to, or just like a couple weeks ago, they wanted to maintain rates, be steady, and just kind of chill. But now with this volatility, they may be a little more scared of what's going to happen to the market if they don't cut rates or intervene in some way. I'm thinking they're going to want to hold steady, but who knows? Who knows by December 10th, which is only a week away, December 11th, what's going to happen? Like, you know, this could be 300 or less, which is still not bad on the year. But right now we do know the Fed is trying to pump. You know, they have been pumping the market. Let's look at. Let's see here. So what is interesting here, you know, they had been pumping, but if you look here, November 20th, I don't know if they have anything up to date. Let's see here, 12. So the latest they have, so they've been pumping, the Fed has been pumping assets into the market, but now looks like there's a little bit of a decline here. So that's going to be interesting to see how much is the decline. If the Fed is not pumping anymore, it's going to be interesting. So just be aware that the Fed is next week, December 11th. So we'll see what happens. I think there's going to be a lot going on between now and December 11th, especially if Trump, you know, is going to be talking like this. Also, Bloomberg sent out an alert earlier, a few hours ago. Let me see if I have it here. It says, U.S. House votes to sanction Chinese officials for abuses against Muslim minorities, risking further trade deal retaliation from Beijing. So we also are backing Hong Kong, which China doesn't like, and now we're trying to sanction Chinese officials for abuse against Muslim minorities. So, you know, in terms of China's stance, that's against what they want to do. China wants to remove tariffs, and also Trump is happy about the tariffs. He thinks he's getting billions of dollars. I mean, maybe it's true. I don't know where that money goes, but at the end of the day, he is he is possibly going to increase tariffs, and every time he's increased tariffs, the market has gone down. It has recovered, yes, but we had a lot of volatility during that time. So, you know, VIX is finally back. We've been looking for it, and VIX is finally back above 15. It closed at 1596 today. It popped back up above there. Futures are up a little bit, you know, only up a couple cents in terms of volatility. So, you know, we're going to keep an eye on that. You know, I like between 17 and 20 preferably for my trading style, but you know, we were almost going to go 10, maybe sub 10 if the low volatility kept going. So those are the things, those are the risks. I'm not saying go full bearish, go full bull, you know, buy the dip, whatever you want to do. But just keep in mind, we still, let's look at this year on the SPY. You know, it's still bullish, you know, but I do think that we're going to have a retest of the 302, 305 area is what I'm looking forward to today. Today we did hit 307, so we hit 307 and then bounced. Wasn't a very big bounce, but it did recover some. We did move up very slow. Other thing I want to point out, that volume both yesterday and today did not even break 100 million. So just be mindful of that. Like, still kind of on the lower volume. So we haven't had, I wouldn't say we had like a real sell-off. You know, we didn't hit 100 or 200 million in volume. So volume was popped up a little bit, but nothing out of the ordinary. Another stock. So right now, what I'm looking at, I am trading BABA. I'm looking for BABA to revisit the 188 level here. You know, we did pop up. It did break out of range. Now, if we do look at, you know, let's try to give you a little visual here. So this did pop out. This did pop out of range a couple of times, but then kept coming back under, you know, like the 188 level. I'm looking for this to retest that 188 level. I currently have a strangle on there. I have the 190 put. Bought it a little early today. I bought it when it was like a 193, and then we popped up to like almost 195. So I'm looking for a retest of the 188 area, and it did break out of range, but now we're coming back with the trade news. I do think that we'll see like the 188 188 retest. We did hit 189 today, so I do think that we'll kind of come back down into that range. Other stock that I'm watching right now, also NVIDIA, because it is very impactful for the trade news here. And what I'm looking for on NVIDIA had a pretty solid bounce, opened up around 200 today, came down to 237, actually opened up like 201, 202 area, came down to 200 and then bounced back up to 207. I'm looking for it to revisit this 200 area. I do want to see if it comes up to here to like the 210 and gets rejected around the 210, and then I'd like to go short. So right now there's not enough juice in there for me to go long, so I'm seeing if it will come back down to this like 210 area. So I'm going to go back up to the 210 area, and then I'm going to probably put a short position on down to like the 200 area. You know, they did get hard. I mean, they closed yesterday at, you know, around 209, opened up at 201, so they got hit hard. NVIDIA moves a lot. They do get like 60% of the revenue from China, so that's why it's moving crazy. Another stock on my watch list right now is CRM. They just reported earnings. They did beat earnings. However, the stock didn't move. This would have been a great premium selling opportunity. I didn't trade it. I was gone from my desk this afternoon, so I didn't put that trade on. But CRM, looking here, it's currently a 160. However, this is descending and it keeps getting stopped out at like 165. So I'm going to see if it tries to retest the 165 area and gets rejected, or if it tries to bust through. So right now it has been descending since it hit the 165, 166 area. If it continues to go down, I'm looking towards the 155 area on CRM. So, you know, that's kind of my watch list. That's kind of what I'm thinking of for the month. Just wanted to kind of give you a heads up of what the risks are. If you watch this video to the end, thank you so much. Leave me a comment below on what you're trading and let me know that you watched to the end. Again, if you like the content, hit the like button. Subscribe to both our channels. Definitely appreciate you. As always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.